Welcome to Tech Talk, y'all.
Hello, and welcome to Tech Talk, y'all. Episode 420. I'm Sanjay Parikh.
And I'm Adam Walker. And this episode is brought to you by our companies TogetherLetters and Edgewise.Media. So if you need a podcast, go check out Edgewise. And if you want to stay connected to important people, well, that is important to you, I should say, go to TogetherLetters.com.
Yeah, apparently episode 419 that we did in front of a live studio audience took out a little bit too much from us, and we had to take a week off. So we're back again.
Yeah, we made it.
You know, some of you listeners probably were like, oh, they're done now. That was the pinnacle.
I feel like we need to debrief for a minute. How did you like recording in front of a live audience?
So it felt super weird. I don't know about you. I was self-conscious quite a bit.
A little bit.
Because there were more than usual. These people just staring at us. And then we made jokes sometimes and they didn't always laugh.
And that was my prediction, was that it was more awkward when we made the joke and they didn't laugh. And sure enough, we made jokes and they didn't laugh. And I was like, all right, it's funny to me, y'all. Whatever.
So one thing I realized, and if and when we ever do this again, is we probably need a microphone that is kind of towards the audience, because I don't know if the laughing was always picked up. And so
it did happen. It happened at least once. It happened at least once.
It did happen at least once. I do remember at least once it happening. That might have been they might have been laughing at us, not with us, but it did happen.
I'm like a comedian. I'll take any laugh I can get.
Exactly.
So I'm good with it.
But I mean, look, it was neat. It was a different energy for you and me. It's been years now since we've been in the same room to record an episode of Tech Talk. It's been 6 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah.
And so that was actually kind of nice too. But the bright lights and all that stuff, that was new for this. But it
was great.
It was fun. What did you think? How did you feel about it?
Same. I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting. It was different. It was. I think the hardest part was deciding where to look. Like if I was going to look at you like I am now, or if I'm like supposed to like look in the ethereal audience, or like look at the camera, like break the third wall. Like, I don't know. So that was the hardest part, I think, for me.
Yeah, I feel that I could kind of out of my peripheral vision see the people like right in front of me, but then there were some to my right and to the kind of behind, or my left and to behind me. But I couldn't, like, I'd have to turn all the way around, and honestly, then it's like, dude, I need to focus on the show notes and like thinking about what I'm talking about. So
all right,
it was what it was.
Because we took a week off, we have like just a bombardment of articles for you. I've said plethora in the past. I went with bombardment for today. And
which is a call out to a article we're going to talk about in just a second. Bombardment,
And so we're going to sort of combine some articles sort of on the fly as we go and see if we can do this well. So I'll start with the first
I think, by the way,
okay?
our listeners know that we do everything on the fly with this. None of this is scripted.
Yes. I wouldn't even know how to script it.
Exactly. The live audience can attest to that. We have no idea what we're doing. We just talk. So.
All right, so first three articles combined. I'm just going to read them all, then we're going to talk about all of them. So Anthropic's new Mythos AI model sets off global alarms. Next article, Mozilla used Anthropic's Mythos to find and fix 271 bugs in Firefox. And the last one of this set, Sam Altman compares Mythos to dropping a bomb while selling a $100 billion bomb shelter. So Mythos is apparently scaring the crap out of some people, and Sam Altman's like comparing it to dropping a bomb and selling a bomb shelter. And then we'll talk about the valuation for Anthropic in a moment. I mean, Mythos is scary, but like somebody was going to cross this threshold. So, I mean, is it really that surprising?
Exactly. But I've also seen some articles where people have talked about open source models that have been able to find almost all of these exact same vulnerabilities. So it's good, but I think it's...
But with how much direction? It would be my question. With how much direction and... What did one open source model find all of them versus, you know what I'm saying, versus a variety?
Maybe not, but I think obviously like what we've seen with so many of the Anthropic models is that this has just gotten better and better. And I think they're doing the responsible thing instead of just unleashing it and creating havoc in the world. They're like, let's take a step back and make sure we're doing it right. And look, Sam Altman complaining about this is sour grapes, dude. You're second. You're the also ran. Like your stuff is not as good. I have heard that some of the newer models that have just come out from them are reasonably good, but look, everybody's
talking about that in a minute too. So
I mean, everybody's talking about Anthropic and Claude and not you. And talking about that, Anthropic could raise a new $50 billion round at a valuation of $900 billion. It has accelerated for them. And I have heard through kind of the grapevine of other folks that have been talking about this stuff is that it is impossible to get shares in Anthropic right now. And it is also impossible to unload shares in OpenAI. Like people are trying to flee their ownership in OpenAI and convert it into Anthropic. And they can't do either side of that because the valuation on OpenAI is not good. Nobody wants to buy over there because everybody wants to buy on Anthropic, and the valuation is going through the roof in like private sales and things like that. So one thing I would say is like one way to get ownership in them would be to buy Amazon stock, quite honestly, because Amazon just announced that, what was it, $100 billion investment into Anthropic between services and actual cash. So there you go.
And if I'm not mistaken from this article, doesn't that make the potential Anthropic valuation higher than OpenAI?
Yeah, definitely.
So I mean,
it definitely does.
So Anthropic's kind of gone from the distant underdog to potentially being more valuable than the most valuable AI company. And really, at least in my mind, and I don't know if it's accurate, but in my mind, it started with that Pentagon deal where they were
totally,
like, no,
100%.
And then public opinion flipped. And then people tried Claude. That's when I sort of really dug into Claude. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I had that initial response to ChatGPT originally, like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Right.
And then I was like hardcore ChatGPT forever. And then I tried Claude. I was like, again, like it was the next, like a whole nother stratum of ability. It's unreal to me. So,
I mean, I'll do a callback to my tech rec from last week of Hermes agent, like using that harness on top of a model like Claude, where it then remembers stuff over time and it knows how to build skills for itself so that you don't have to teach it how to do the same thing over and over again, adds just a whole another level. By the way, I wanted to mention an article we did not tag that is important to all of this. So Anthropic apparently has said that they want to release access to Mythos to another 30 companies. And actually this last week, I was talking to somebody and I can't say what company, but they actually have access to Mythos for solving problems internally. But this person that I was talking to was a product manager, and they were like, I'm not even allowed to see it. And it's like so controlled within this organization.
Wow.
And I think it's controlled everywhere. So yeah, the White House doesn't want Anthropic to allow access to more companies. Anthropic wants to do that. I guess we'll see what ends up happening. But I think it's only a matter of time before they release this to everybody, because you're not going to hold this back forever, I imagine.
No, I wouldn't think so. You can't hold it back
but
forever.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, next up, OpenAI releases GPT 5.5. And the reason I tagged this in particular is...
You should do the next article too, by the way. They both
I will, but I want to say this first. They combined a lot of like the coding abilities and stuff into one modality for ChatGPT this time. And I'm ready for Claude to do that. Like Claude has the chat and then the co-work and then Claude code. I'm ready for just one thing. Like especially between chat and co-work. Like they're basically the same. Just make them one thing and let's be done with this. So anyway, that bugs me.
I think the reason why they do that is because the way that they access things and the permissions they're given is different.
Yes.
And now there's even Claude Design, which is not in the desktop client. You have to go through the web.
God, it's unreal.
You've used it, right?
I'm going to make that I'm changing my tech rec. That's going to be my tech rec. I'm changing it right now. I'll talk about it during tech rec time. Thank you for that reminder.
Yeah, it is. I wholeheartedly agree on that tech rec.
Unreal.
By the way. But the other story related to this 7.0 wipeout, ChatGPT 5.5 versus Claude 4.7 in 7 impossible tasks. Claude just cleaned up.
Just won every task. Did you like look through the results?
I looked at some of them. Like the puzzle that it was given that was impossible, ChatGPT hallucinated and came up with 2 answers.
Yeah.
And Claude was like, there's no way to do this.
Yeah, like Claude gave an honest answer. This can't be solved. But then even for like the mathematical, like the deep mathematical probability problems, like ChatGPT came up with a correct answer, but Claude's answer was more precise and gave more information. And like, and to me, like that is indicative of the difference between ChatGPT and Claude. ChatGPT will give you a correct answer a good majority of the time. Claude's is just more correct and better almost every single time. And so the more context, more information, just better all around.
Yeah, the reasoning level is just pretty amazing. And this reminds me of that article or set of articles we talked about, I think last time or maybe even the time before, where Sam Altman was saying like, look at how much computing power we have and everything, and look at how far back Anthropic is. And now we talked about this Amazon deal. They're getting more computing power online, but it's like, honestly, whatever they've got right now, if it's beating you that badly, it's not the compute that's the issue.
That's right.
It's the model.
It's you. You're the issue. It's not me. It's you. That's the. That's it. All right. Next up, China orders Meta to unwind $2 billion Manus acquisition.
Wow.
And they've already started integrating it. And China's like, no, we don't want your money. We don't want you to have our AI stuff. You're gonna have to unwind this now. So,
yeah, I think what they're seeing is this shift that's happening into autonomous agents and organizing like suites or groups of autonomous agents that all work together. And probably realizing that Manus was somewhat on the forefront of that. And that maybe it should be its own thing still for a while, because it'll be even bigger and better if they do that.
That's probably true. I've used Manus, but I'll tell you, I still have Manus. I still have ChatGPT. I haven't used either of them since I started using Claude. Like I really need to like get rid of those or try to figure out some use for them or something.
There's a new one that I'll tell you after the show what I'm gonna play with, because I'm not sure if I'm ready to recommend it. I need to play with it a little bit to see.
Right. Okay.
But we'll see where it goes.
All right.
Nice. Next up, he built a $1.8 billion company alone with AI. And not entirely true.
Okay, tell me more. Say more.
So the New York Times did a story about this guy that launched a company, used AI. I think he's got one employee now, his brother, if I recall correctly now. So like the headline is like, $1.8 billion in revenue or whatever like that, right? So this person is selling medicine. I forgot what.
I think it's like the whatever Wegovy is, like that whatever the
GLP-1.
That's the one.
GLP-1s. I think pills and shots and the whole thing, and has automated the whole thing. So the revenue, that 1.8 billion, is not to them. Like, I don't know what their revenue is. And there's been a lot of issues apparently that were not covered in the New York Times article about things like them using mock-ups of what the pills look like, which had their branding on it, which is not true because it makes them look like they are actually compounding or doing something like that. And they're not. They're just selling other people's drugs.
Right.
And then there's things like apparently they use marketing with doctors, but the doctors were fake AI doctors.
Yeah.
They were agents. And so the FDA has kind of come in on this. There's like a lot of things. It is good clickbait, though. It sounds awesome.
I mean, but the reason I tagged it is not so much like whether or not this person's done it. Is that I think Sam Altman said he knows of someone that's done this, and I think several people have alluded to kind of this concept of the one-person billion-dollar company. Yeah, and there apparently are several out there that might potentially be that. But I think the reality is, whether it's $1 billion or not doesn't matter. I mean, if you're a one-person $100 million company, that's pretty remarkable. And it's very doable with AI now. And that's really the reason I'm just fascinated by that idea. Yeah.
I mean, the traditional high watermark that was impressive for a company was if you could hit $1 million in revenue per employee. Right? I mean, that's an impressive number. And if I recall correctly, MailChimp was well beyond that.
Really?
They were, it's crazy. And so I think that is an interesting stat. And now we're, like you say, we're talking about like, you could get to the point where you've got $10 million in revenue per employee, $100 million in revenue per employee. It's kind of mind boggling if you could get to $1 billion in revenue per employee.
That's crazy.
But maybe it's possible.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Next up, big talk and big changes over at Apple. John Ternus named Apple CEO to replace Tim Cook. By the way, the Apple results just came out earlier today, and they were good.
iPhone's killing it.
I think, and the only reason they weren't better is because they had issues with getting access to chips. so they couldn't manufacture as many as they wanted to based on demand.
Right.
But I think this is an interesting pick because John Ternus, his history at Apple, at least recently, has been the head of hardware.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if we're on the cusp of seeing a shift in terms of even better hardware. Which is, I don't know how you do that, but even better hardware coming out of Apple, or expansion into areas that they traditionally haven't had. Maybe that Apple car is finally going to be a thing and come out. I don't know.
I did read an article that speculated that Apple's probably with this move going to double down on AI, recognizing that Tim Cook sort of completely missed the boat on AI, which is like the big thing. It was the wave, and Apple sort of like outsourced it to someone else.
Right.
And the theory was they brought in somebody more technical, an engineer that like might be able to sort of right the ship in that regard. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, I would actually like to see Apple Intelligence, like, I don't know, work as advertised 2 years ago. That'd be great. But you know, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So,
and this is the normal Apple playbook, honestly, right?
Oh,
They're almost never the first.
No,
but they do it really well.
They do
when
they
get around to it.
Crush it when they do
right.
it. Yeah,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to combine these next two. Nearly 40,000 tech jobs lost in April 2026. In the next article, 20,000 job cuts at Meta. Microsoft raise AI labor crisis concern. Meta Microsoft. Okay, sorry. 20,000 job cuts at Meta Microsoft raise AI labor crisis concern. So, I mean, I think the way I think about this, the tech sector is the harbinger of what's to come related to the AI workforce for everyone else, right? Like the tech sector is embracing AI more so than everybody else is at this moment. Therefore, they're cutting back jobs because they can. And this is what's going to roll out across everybody else. That's my theory. What are your thoughts?
Everybody else being white collar jobs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Of course, yes, white collar jobs.
I think there's like, you know,
computer jobs. That's what I mean.
We're in this bubble where we talk about this, but there's a lot of jobs out there that they're like,
listen,
can't do anything.
I'm very thankful that my wife does not have a computer job right now. Like that, I'll just say that right now. Like 100%. So this is going to massively affect the sitting at a computer, staring at a monitor workforce in a major way.
I think, and I've said this time and time again, I think what this does is this causes, and we've always had this, you know, honestly, most people don't work for big companies. Most people work for small companies. The vast majority of the workforce works for small companies. I think we are going to see a fracturing of these bigger companies, and I think we're going to see less big companies and more smaller companies.
Okay.
And I think that is potentially a long-term good for the economy because you build in resiliency, right? Like when you have one single thing where everybody works, that's a single point of failure. If things go wrong in that one place,
that's true.
It's not good for anybody, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you have thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of companies instead of that one big one, like lots of things have to go wrong for all of them to have issues. And that can happen. We've seen that, right? Pandemic just a few years ago, that affected everybody, but it's a lot less often that something like that's going to happen. So I think it's interesting times. I think, you know, for anybody that's coming up at this point or is in the workforce, you've got to really take a hard look and make sure that you're doing things that are creative and innovative and that can't be just replaced by some computer that can just crank on things and figure out the same stuff as you.
I did hear a quote at an event not that long ago, and they said AI might not replace your job, but somebody using AI will replace your job. And so like, that's the next wave is these somebody's with AI will replace you. And I'm already doing that. I mean, I'm doing work right now that used to require an entire marketing agency to do. And I'm doing completely by myself for a client, right? Like, so I'm actively that person replacing some agency right now. And so that's true for all of us. But there will be a day where AI might replace you as well. I mean, we'll find out, but AI enablement first and then AI second, I think.
Do you feel like, because I felt like this, I want to know if you feel like this, like when you get into the flow with AI and like you've got like multiple things going, like you're just like jamming so hard, like time ends up warping somehow and you're just like in this weird zone of like massive productivity and you're just trying to get like, it's like keeping all the plates spinning. right? Like, do you feel like that?
I've had two feelings. That is certainly one of them.
Yeah.
I've also had the feeling of like I'm the guy that sets up the AI to do the work, and then like I'm the middleman. I'm almost like an AI middleman in some instances where it's like, you need that? Okay, sure. And then I translate it to the AI, and I'm like, get from the AI and translate it back. And I'm like, okay, here you go. So it's like middle management between client and AI and some. So it's like this. So yes to you and to the other thing as well.
I like how you said middle management, and I just called you a gopher because I think gopher is probably more the apt term in terms of that. Yeah,
either one works.
Maybe I should change my title to AI gopher.
I've started toying with the title. I think I might have told you this. Toying with the title, marketing person of interest as a title. I think that's a good. Like I don't like VP of marketing. Like that's no fun. I'm a marketing person of interest. Like that's what I am. So
I like it.
I
like it. Yeah. Something I don't like is this next story. Is the U.S. bill? Wait, where'd it go?
No, Netflix.
Netflix. I like that story.
Yeah.
I don't like the next story after that. So the story you're going to talk about, I don't like. But this story I like. Netflix plans vertical video feed and AI recommendations. It's about time, right? Like,
I mean, it's kind of late to the game, really, honestly. Like, why didn't you do this a year and a half ago? Like, all right, cool.
I thought that they had some of this before, like the, what is it? Netflix is a joke, thing. Like, I thought they had like a vertical feed of those and just little like comedy clips.
Yeah, maybe they did.
But maybe now it's taking that and expanding it out to more stuff.
Could be.
I do find, even though we just talked about all this AI stuff, I do find this whole like AI recommendations and it's this new thing, and it's like, dude, really, it's just algorithms. Like it's
fine.
It's a fancy algorithm that is just doing pattern matching across very large data sets.
Yeah, which they've been doing forever.
Yeah, so, and you're just calling it AI now. So what it is.
I call everything AI now. I'm like, that's an AI doorknob.
I thought you were about to say your kids. Hey, AI, what's going on?
No. It's AI. I got an AI water bottle. U.S. bill
I got AI shoes because they're Allbirds. So
yeah, they do. U.S. bill mandates on-device age verification. Okay, and it's written like super broad, right? Wasn't it? Like, didn't I read that was like it's like.
What's important is the very next article, which is Brussels age checking app hacked in 2 minutes.
Yeah. It was like, I think they announced it's like ready for prime time or something like that. And then somebody like very shortly after was like, hack this in 2 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, I don't like any of this stuff. Like, okay, you're going to create a big giant database of everybody's ages.
Yeah,
that's not going to get hacked.
Yeah.
And then targeted.
Yeah.
And then people are going to get spammed, and they're going to be like, oh, everybody that's over 80, let's call them and pretend that we're their grandson and we're kidnapped and get money out of them. Okay, everybody that's under 12, let's do something.
It's crazy.
No.
Speaking of $5 Bluetooth tracker in postcard exposes Dutch warship. What I love about this is it was a journalist that did this, I guess, to prove a point.
Yep.
And the tracker got discovered when they're sorting the mail on the ship for delivery. So it's like, but it's already on the ship. Like the damage is already done. Why are you sorting it there? What are you doing? How? In what world does it make sense to deliver unchecked mail to a warship? So good. Oh my god.
Maybe they need this bomb on board.
Yeah,
Who am I to say?
What I didn't know, I didn't realize you could get a $5 Bluetooth tracker. I kind of like that. Like I kind of want a $5 tracker.
Well, I'll tell you, one of my previous tech recommendations was Chipolo, which I do love, and I just returned from a trip. And unfortunately, my bag did not make it onto the flight. It made it onto the next flight from JFK. Yeah. And I saw this on the plane. I was like, I don't think my bag made it. And then I didn't get the alert from Delta that my bag was loaded onto the plane. And like an hour later during the flight, I got it. Hey, it's been loaded on this flight. I'm like, that's not my flight. That's the next flight. And so they were supposed to deliver me this bag. And it sat at the airport for like 3 hours. I could see it because of the tracker. And I'm like, what is going on? You guys need to get the bag and get it to my house. So I was able to track it all the way in. I knew when it was on the move and the whole thing. And it's just like, it's been super helpful. But you got to be careful if people are mailing them to you.
That's right.
they're going to find you. But one thing you don't have to worry about people mailing to you because they're going to just beam it at you, apparently. NIST creates any wavelength laser in tiny circuits.
Okay, hold on. We're entering into the category where Sanjay has to explain literally everything. That's the category of articles that we're in right now, just so everybody knows, okay? Like, I understand, of the 7, 8, however many, I understand like one of them. So, go. What do you got for me?
And this grouping, by the way, is the hardware science and engineering grouping.
Exactly. That's correct.
So,
there's not a marketing grouping that I can explain to you, so that's fine.
So NIST has created some chips, some lasers that can be tuned to any color, which is kind of a big deal because generally with fiber optics, it's been limited in terms of the colors that have been sent down or infrared lasers because of the ability of the semiconductors to create those colors. But now they've created something that is tunable, and then you could actually use multiple colors, which potentially is interesting. I don't know if they talked about it in the article, because you could then use multiple lasers at different colors down the same fiber optic cable and actually expand the amount of information being sent through that cable without changing anything else. So you just got to make sure that the photons are not colliding in terms of their wavelength. If they're man, it is the worst, man. I turn on the light sometimes and like, those photons are colliding again.
Open my eyes.
Just turn off the lights and turn them on back again.
Photons.
Yeah. But it's pretty interesting. Like, we might be able to actually get more bandwidth in our fiber optic links.
I'm for that. Other things we're for is Voyager. So NASA shuts off instrument on Voyager 1. This was apparently to save battery, but then they're talking about doing something to like readjust the power somehow to turn it back on later or something. I don't really understand. But then my favorite part was it mentioned that it runs off of plutonium, which harkened back to the DeLorean from Back to the Future. Didn't that run off of plutonium as well? I think it did, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. That's why Doc Brown was killed by the Iranians.
That's right. So basically, Voyager 1 is the DeLorean movie. That's what's happening.
But then when he came back, he replaced it with a Mr. Fusion.
Yeah, Mr. Fusion.
And you could just put whatever food in there.
Of course,
and it would just take off. It was fine. So you just got to get to fusion and it's all fine. So there you go.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Something that apparently doesn't need fusion and they're just making it on their own. Anchor has made its own AI chip called Thus, and they're adding it into their earbuds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what? Like, cool. This is the new game. Like, Apple's making its own chips. Like, everybody, like, just make your own chips, everybody. Like, is that what we're doing now? Like, that just you can't buy them. Just make your own. I'm going to do that with cars, I think. Cars are too expensive. I'm just going to make my own.
Well, this next story is actually about making your own. So there you go. Go ahead.
Right, well, YouTuber builds working DRAM, DRAM. I don't even know. What is that exactly?
Dynamic RAM.
Right. Yes. That's what I was thinking it was. Yeah. And I could explain it to you, but I'm not going to do that.
So there's a video. He basically built his own RAM chips in his backyard. You know, we're currently in a shortage. Yeah. Prices have spiked for all of this stuff. This is not the way, though, because I don't remember how many bits of information he had in this, but it was not that many.
Wasn't that many, no.
And the amount of time that the RAM actually retained the information was very, very short compared to commercial chips. But it's still cool.
Cool that he did it.
It's neat. Yeah, I dig it. I don't think I could build. I mean, I was an electrical engineer. I don't think I could fabricate RAM.
I mean, with
backyard.
Enough gumption, I believe in you.
Sanjay. Gumption. That's a lot of times that's what I'm missing is the gumption.
The gumption.
Yeah. I gotta get some Bubba Gump soup, and then I'll have some more gumption. Somebody that doesn't have any more gumption because they're dropping it is Linux. They begin dropping support for the Intel 486. You know, it's been a good 37-year run for it, I think.
I still remember getting the 46 DX266, and it was like, this is amazing. This is the greatest thing ever, you know? And so that, like, when I saw that, I mean, this is like pre-Pentium chips, you know? Like, when I saw them, like,
Pentium was next after that,
Yeah, I mean, that was like, I don't know. There's something about that 46 that was just beautiful.
I remember the 286s. I think my first PC was the 386. And then I think I bumped up to a Pentium after that. And then, I remember you had to slot the chip into the thing and then flip the little lever so that it locked in the thing. And yeah. And a little. You remember the heat sinks from back in those days? Like now, there are these monstrosities that have fans on top of them, right? This was like a little glued on, little, little,
that's right.
Little towers on top of it. Like,
that's right.
You just need air cooling. Like some air will blow by.
No big deal.
It's
You'll be fine. You're in an air conditioned spot. You're good. No big deal.
It's fine.
Yeah.
All
right. We'll keep going. We got several more to go here. Pancreatic cancer mRNA vaccine shows lasting results. So this was in diagnosed pancreatic cancer patients that had taken the mRNA vaccine, and then an odd number of them were still alive. I mean, it's like, right? I mean,
a very large statistical sample of them. I mean, it wasn't a huge sample of people that got this, but basically it was a certain type of pancreatic cancer. I don't remember exactly what kind, but most people find pancreatic cancer too late because the symptoms show up late. And then at that point, it's usually already advanced to kind of stage 4. And most people, unfortunately, survive it only for, days, weeks, couple of months at the most. But this is amazing, right? Like mRNA. And you know who I give credit to again? Is Dolly Parton.
Oh,
because she was the one
that
wrote the check originally for some of those mRNA vaccines around COVID.
Man, I love some Dolly Parton.
And even if she wasn't involved in this, I'm still giving her credit.
She's the best. She is the best.
She's a national treasure. Like, I don't know, like how many days of mourning we are going to have as a country when she passes away, because that is going to be a shame at that point. But hopefully that's not for a long time.
Yeah, same.
Something that's not for a long time because it's already apparently available and kind of weirdish a little bit. BMW is one step closer to a color-changing car. It's only the hood and it's an e-ink display, but it's kind of interesting.
It's pretty cool. I'll say a couple things, right? The video is worth watching. The presenter made me miss Steve Jobs. The presentation, it was just a little not quite, it was fine. It wasn't, but it wasn't like, I feel like there could have been much better unveil, like a much bigger thing.
You know who's got a pretty big gap from himself to Steve Jobs?
Who's that?
Elon Musk. Oh my God, that guy, when he presents, it is like a disaster. Like, what is even happening here?
Yeah, that's true. I did really love the ball through the unbreakable window of the Cybertruck.
And it breaks right there. Yeah,
that's got to be one of the greatest moments of presentation failures in all of history.
Yeah.
So, it's worth watching the video. It's interesting. We can we can keep moving on.
Yeah.
Alberta startup sells, quote, no-tech tractors for half the price. I love a no-tech tractor. I kind of wish I could get a no-tech car in some ways. Like let's just go back to some basic cars when the EMP goes off.
You just have to go buy like a 1970s car or something like that. Where
is that? You have to go all the way back to the 70s to not have chips in them, you think?
It's sometime in the 70s when things started converting over and there was like electronic ignition and things like that. It was sometime in the 70s where you still had like, the crank and the whole thing, like when you're turning the key, it was actually cranking the ignition, right? But a lot of that stuff. So if we ever face an EMP, like if there's a nuclear blast,
70s cars, man, that's where it's at.
Those cars are going to be the ones that still work. All the other cars, totally fried.
So the lesson from this is go scope out where the neighbors have their 70s cars so you can go steal them after the EMP strike. Like that's what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah. You got to make sure you have gas though, because none of the gas pumps are going to work either. Because
it's okay. We'll figure that out. It's or something.
Next up, a Chinese android beats human half marathon record. Okay. Here's the problem that I have with this framing.
Yes.
Also, what beat a human half marathon record was a jet engine.
A motorcycle. Or jet engine.
I mean, you're comparing a human to a machine and you're saying like, it's faster.
Well,
like no duh.
So
we're not living in the time of John Henry and fighting the railroad spike machine and his heart explodes because he won and then he died.
I do. I think several things, but finish. Was that your?
That was it.
Okay, all right. So several things. Number one, did you see that 2 people beat the 2-hour marathon?
Yes.
You got to feel bad for the guy that came in second.
The guy that came in second, this was his first time running a marathon.
No.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
That's
it's
insane.
The shoes. They were all of the, I think it was the 4 or 5 top finishers across the men's and the women's.
Okay.
They were all wearing the same super shoe from whoever it is now. I forgot.
There's a super shoe?
It's a super shoe.
What does that even mean?
It's a shoe that
give you like more spring or something. It's cheating.
It's got little jet engines in the back of it.
Got it. Okay. So, all right. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I do think it's significant that you have an Android that can a bipedal Android that can legitimately run a half marathon faster than a human, because that mainly because it means they ran it probably without falling down,
right?
Or fast enough to where it falls. Like, that's a pretty significant leap in robotics. Like that's the thing that makes it interesting to me. So,
and it had enough power to sustain itself for the whole time, and like there's all that things too.
So for 2 other robotics ones here, with the next one, Japanese airline pilots humanoid robots at Haneda. And these are humanoid robots to help with handling the baggage, like in and out of the planes, I think. Wasn't that what it said?
I think so. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
The airport, by the way, is Haneda Airport. It's the one in Tokyo. There's Narita, which is the other airport, and Haneda. So the 2 main airports that serve Tokyo. Okay, great. Now you're going to have robots do more and more stuff. And then when they decide we're done flying and we're not allowed to fly anymore, they're just going to crater all the airplanes, and then we're done.
And then they're going to beat us at table tennis.
Yeah, which is the very next story. Table tennis robot defeats top human players. The videos are just amazing. Yeah. And they like, one of the videos, they like show the ball and the spin, and it's measuring the radians per, it took me back to engineering days, by the way. Radians per second. Which I still have no idea what that means. But radians per second of the spin of the ball. And it's measuring that, and then and like one of them, I don't know if you watched this video, but one of them, the human player hit the ball and it hit the net. And so the prediction of where the ball would have gone changes. And instead of hitting where it would have gone, it reacted in real time and sent it back. It was impressive.
This is a feat that's so fascinating because there's so many variables to table tennis, and it's so fast. I mean, you've got spin, you've got angle, you've got velocity. I mean, like so many, it seems so much harder than running a half marathon from a robotics perspective.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think they said in the article, sometimes the ball is going like 30 meters per second or something like that.
Oh,
it's like,
God, it's
like with top players, like not me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're lucky to do 3 meters per second with me, but or a third of a meter per second.
You and me
probably
both.
Closer to it.
You and me both.
Yeah.
Time for the Weird and Wacky segment.
Abominable snowman.
He's not an axe murderer.
One of the TAs turned out to be a bot.
All right, so I found Sanjay's next car. Chinese car maker patents voice-controlled in-vehicle toilet.
Who wants to be in a vehicle where somebody's using the bathroom at the same time?
No. The best part is they use heat to evaporate the urine or dry out the feces. But like, so wait, so not only are you sitting in a car where somebody's pooping in the seat next to you, but then the poop goes into a heater under the car, so you get
the aroma of heated poop,
the baked poop smell at the end of it. It's so great. Like it's like when you walk into an open house and it smells like cookies because they put cookies in the oven to like dry. It's like that, but with human excrement. It's the best. I don't see the problem. What could go wrong? I don't see.
Yeah, no, there's just so many no's here. Like, this better be a one-person vehicle car, is all I'm saying.
Like, who thinks to themselves, I'm on a road trip and I really want to just poop right here? Like, who thinks that? I want to know.
The one thing I've never gotten to do in my car, poop.
Yeah. So
the other thing that just struck me is somebody was on the other side of this as a patent examiner at the patent office.
It's got to be like, No.
And they should have been like,
No.
no, this is rejected.
No.
Not because it's not a new idea. It is, but it's an idea that shouldn't exist.
It's just a bad idea.
That should be an additional category of why a patent is allowed to be rejected. That in the patent examiner's own best judgment, they've decided for the betterment of humanity that this should not exist.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan.
To protect humanity, we are saying no to this patent. Yeah. Something else that somebody is not saying no to that maybe is going to go wrong, but we'll see. Air New Zealand adds economy bunk beds with rules. Yeah, one of the rules being is that you can't be in there with somebody else, apparently.
Well, yeah, but didn't they also say like something about like you'd have to swap out with somebody like during the flight or something weird?
You can only book for like 4 hours, and so you gotta.
Yeah, vacate. Like how's that gonna work? Like you're on a long flight and somebody's in there for 4, but then like does somebody like change the?
They said they would change the sheets and the bed pillow and the pillow and all that stuff too. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't wake up, then they're gonna nudge you.
I will say this: I love the idea of being able to lay flat and sleep on a flight, like because flights are just notoriously so uncomfortable. So like. I do love that, but
wait, are you not booking like the suite in Emirates? Like I thought that's how you roll.
I am not. I'm savoring that for the wealth of old age is what I'm doing. So
I mean, I think Emirates has like a full 1-bedroom suite that you can book that has a full size bed that you just.
And it's probably what like 10 grand to 15 grand a flight. Sure, yeah, I'll do that. No problem.
I think you're underpricing it by quite a bit. I think by quite a bit. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's hard to imagine.
I think it's expensive. So.
I will stand in the back if I can save $1. Is what I will do. I'll ride in the toilet. I'll go back to the car one. I'll just ride in the toilet the whole time if I can save some. I'm fine with that. You know, like whatever we got to do. So,
but would you do it if it's heating up the excrement?
Well, listen, speaking of heating up, hairdryer allegedly used to trick weather sensor for $34,000 Poly Market bet. I think, was this in London at the airport is what it was?
Yeah.
So apparently Poly Market.
Yeah, it was.
Poly Market's where you can place bets on like all kinds of random crap. And one of them was, I think a heat wave or something.
Yeah.
And so they bet that there would be a heat wave and apparently figured out where the sensor was that Poly Market relied on, which I'm not sure how you would even do. And then used a remote or like a battery powered hair dryer to go screw with the sensor to get to what they wanted. And now they're going to inevitably go to jail. So,
which related is the next story as well. DOJ arrests soldier who made $400,000 betting on Maduro's removal because the soldier was also on the team that was going after Maduro and so knew when it was going to happen.
I got to say, man, like if you're an elite soldier and you get briefed on the removal of a high-level person for another country, and you have the guts to go and bet on that, like, really? What did you think was going to happen, man? I assume, man, it's got to be a dude. Oh, women are too smart for this. I'm sorry, but like, this is a dude for sure. I mean, what did you? It's just beyond. You're gonna get arrested, ethics charges, all kinds of charges, man.
The person that they're accusing of this is also seen in a photo right next to Maduro after they've arrested him and bringing him to the U.S. So
I have no words. I have no. All right, moving on. I bought Friendster for $30,000. Here's what I'm doing with it. I bought the brand, right? The brand Friendster. Right, and the assets and the
domain name and the assets and everything.
Right. Yeah, that's all that was left.
So he's rebuilding it, basically a friend social network. And there's actually some good ideas. Like you can't be a friend with somebody unless you tap phones together. So that means you've actually met somebody else in real life, and you have to actually retap the phone every so often. Otherwise, the link gets weaker and eventually disappears. And so it's really about encouraging real life relationships.
freaking love that.
Right? I mean, it's in line. I saw this and I was like, this is in line with what we are doing with TogetherLetters.
Yes. It's like an anti-social social connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
That is a brilliant idea.
Why the original Friendsters people didn't pivot into that? They could have saved themselves, but
man, they had
phones and apps were actually not really a thing back then.
No, it was too early.
It was too early. I think it was a timing issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something else that's a timing issue that is now getting solved, I guess. New Zealand DOC, the Department of Conservation, I think it is, remote tech begins a new era, quote unquote, for conservation. So yeah, they're using satellite communications to have sensors in these remote bathrooms.
Yep.
Because New Zealand's a very remote country. A lot of it is.
Yep.
And they're going to use this to save like millions of dollars of not having to go out and do maintenance on bathrooms that don't need maintenance.
Yeah, that's great.
And do it when it does need maintenance.
So good.
It's pretty cool.
The way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do more bathroom technology.
Tech wreck, time to get your tech wreck.
Tech wreck. Chicky.
Tech wreck. Time to get your tech wreck.
All right, Sanjay, it's tech wreck time. What do you have for us this week?
So I've got an app. This last week, I was away. I was in New York City doing meetings and whatnot. And I decided to load up an app that I've known about for a long time, but I've never really actually used that well. And it's called Citymapper. And what Citymapper is it will tell you how to get from place to place in all of the different modes. So walking there, how long it's going to take you, taking the subway, taking the train, taking an Uber, taking a Lyft, taking a scooter, like all of the things, taking a ferry. Sometimes that happens in New York.
Nice.
And the thing that I really like, so I did almost exclusively subway travel while I was there.
As one does.
The thing that I really like about it is it will tell you how to go from place to place, but it'll also track your journey and give you a warning when it's the next stop that you need to get off at. So you don't forget and you don't miss the stop.
Yeah. That's handy.
I thought that was really well done, and it worked basically flawless for me. It has a little bit of a struggle sometimes with subway cars that are way down deep, and it won't know exactly where you are, but you can do some things to help it out. But it's a great app, and it works in a lot of cities across the US as well as Europe. Some cities in Asia, not as many as some of the others, but hopefully they're expanding over time. So if you're looking to travel, and by the way, it works here in Atlanta too. So if you're riding on MARTA and want to make sure you don't forget which stop to get off at, it'll remind you when you're at that stop. And actually, I rode MARTA yesterday coming back from the airport, and although I knew which stop I was getting off at, it was the last one. It wasn't like a surprise. I still did it just to see, and it worked really well. So Citymapper, check it out.
Speaking of New York City subway, I had not been in a long time. I went again for the first time in a long time recently. And like just being able to walk down the subway and just tap a credit card and walk right in was like I'm like, wait, I don't have to buy one of the stupid Metro cards and load it up and all this other garbage. I can just tap yes, let's do that all day long.
Well,
the greatest.
MARTA's doing that too. And right now they are in the process. So the northernmost station in on the Gold Line, Doraville, the fare gates are actually down. So if you go from Doraville, it's free because you could just walk in. They're not charging anything that way. But when I came back from the airport, it was those gates, and you just tap on it. And I paid with just a card on a digital wallet, and I just went right in and I just charged the card. Didn't have to worry about a Breeze card, which I've had those before. You probably had it as well. Yeah. All that stuff is gone. New York is fantastic for that as well. You can just tap and pay. And the great thing actually in New York, if you're visiting, here's a little tip that I figured out too. So the maximum you'll pay in a week, I think, is $32. So each trip is $3. So if you use the same credit card, they keep track of it. So you don't have to buy a week-long pass. And once you hit $32, every trip after that is free. You don't have to keep paying. So you just got to make sure you use the same card either physical or digital, whichever one it is, and they'll keep track of it.
Man, that's
and
amazing.
You don't have to overpay beyond $32. So it's
Good
brilliant. So what about you, Adam? What do you got for us this week?
As I alluded to earlier, Claude design is unreal. Like I've used a lot of AI design tools. And Claude design is like, it's next level. So like when you first set it up, it asks you to create your, like, I forget what it calls it, like design
branding
guide.
Kit. Branding kit.
Yeah, well, it's your branding kit, but it calls it something.
Yeah,
design
something
kit.
like
That's it.
Yeah.
And so you like load in all your logos and your colors and any documents and like all this stuff. and it creates this whole brand kit for you. And so I did that for one of my clients. And then I had an event coming up and I was like, hey, I need like something to hand people for asking them video questions. So here's like the 15 questions I'm going to ask. Design this for me. Yeah. And it came up with this beautiful front and back design. I mean, just so perfectly on brand. I made a couple of edits to it and then I was done. And it was just unbelievably amazing. Now, the downside to Claude Design is that one thing basically ran me out of Claude Design credits for the entire week. So you can use it to create like one or two things and then you're done for the week. So it's not ready for prime time as far as like heavy usage goes. Yeah. But man, its capabilities are unreal. So
yeah, and that's how they get you, because you're like, hey, here's one really good one. You know, we know you want more, but
that's right.
You got to upgrade your plan or pay us more money or do whatever it is. So
whatever it is.
Yeah, it is really, really good. I built a website. I'll show it to you later. It's not ready for prime time yet, but in one shot prompt, it built this like amazingly beautiful thing, and I gave it no other direction.
Well, we need to rebuild the Edgewise site in the near future, so that might
we
that
should
might be
do
a
that.
new
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, for sure.
I like that.
So.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Sanjay. How can our listeners find and connect with you?
They can find me at sanjaypark.com. What about you, Adam?
You can find me on my website, adamjwalker.com. And if you're still listening, check out TogetherLetters. Groups of 10 or less you can use for free. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite tools. I highly recommend it.
And actually, here's a little hint here. Next week on Wednesday, I think, we're going to be launching on Product Hunt. We would love to have you involved there.
Yes.
So Together Letters will be on Product Hunt next week. So come help us out.
We love that. We need the help. That's what we need. We need the help. Yeah.
Chat about it. Talk about it. Say things.
Say things. Say things.